This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
It's Monday, March 16th, and welcome to the Barbados Today Evening Update. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Thanks for joining us. All outstanding income tax payments will be made by the end of September. The assurance from Finance Minister Chris Sinclair as he tabled the 2015-2016 estimates of revenue and expenditure in Parliament today. Currently, 47,000 people are still waiting on returns for the 2013-2014 period, and 37,000 of those, Mr. Sinclair says, will be settled by June. The remaining 10,000 3 months later. Outstanding corporation tax refunds will also be settled by the same date, but he says VAT returns will take a little longer.
Mr. Speaker, sir, that of VAT, income tax and corporation tax returns, we are currently putting the finishing touches on a plan to have more than 85% of those income tax refunds. Yes, income tax refunds, income tax refunds for the income year 2013 pay. There are currently around 47,000 such claims, and we expect that by the end of June, July, we should be able to satisfy more than 37,000 of these, while the remainder will be done before, of course, September 2015. We equally expect that practically all of our corporation tax refunds should be completed by the same day. Sir, the VAT returns issue is and will likely continue to be a little more challenging, as it is not just an issue of the impact of cash flow, but also in the processing and administrative delays accompanying how those returns are done. We have already hinted that government, as part of the tax reform process, intends to retire the VAT return system, refunds system, entirely. However, that is still a few months away, and greater detail on that part of the tax reform process will be spoken to in the upcoming financial statement and budgetary proposals. In the meantime, it is our intention to utilize the aforementioned approaches to speed up the payment of VAT returns to all businesses, but especially in particular small and medium-sized businesses, which have been severely affected by significant delays.
Meantime, opposition leader Mia Motley is describing today's estimates presentation as an exercise in fiction. Ms. Motley says what the finance minister told Parliament did not reflect the realities faced by Barbadians every day. She also suggested that the finance minister was cherry-picking pieces of information and ignoring other facts that support his claim that the 19-month fiscal adjustment program is a success. Motley says that in reality, the government has failed and its mission is now out of control, with spiraling debt and no real gains for Barbadians who have sacrificed over the past year and a half.
In all of the minister's speech, he ignored stoutly any reference whatsoever for how truly we can resolve this major issue of continuing fiscal crisis. You cannot have a situation that is twice as worse as you predicted it would be 19 months ago, before you presided over absolute mayhem and suffering in this country, and tell us that we are on the road to recovery.
In other news, a visiting American professor says government's decision to have university students pay tuition fees is not a bad move. However, Dean of the Howard Stern School of Business in New York, Dr. Peter Blair Henry, tells Barbados Today that it is important that the right balance is achieved to ensure that no student was disadvantaged.
I think it's a serious issue. I think that investment in education is critical. I think that what's really key is making sure that students are able to go to university, who are qualified to go to university, are able to go irrespective of their ability to pay. Now, that doesn't mean that that families shouldn't pay anything. So families who can pay something, in such a way that they won't become terribly indebted, I think it's not a bad thing if there's kind of co-investment, so to speak, because that way people may be more invested in their education if they're having to pay something for it. One of the things that what Milton Friedman taught us many years ago is when something's entirely free, you may not value it as much. So if it's the case that the government can no longer afford to send everyone to university for free, I think finding the right balance where some who are able to pay something do contribute to their education, that need not be a terrible outcome. But certainly what you want to have happen is everybody who has the ability to go to university is able to go to university according to their means.
Police are investigating the robbery of a couple from the cruise ship Legend of the Seas. According to police spokesman David Welch, the two were robbed of their belongings by two men while on Swan Street. The incident occurred around 3 p.m. yesterday. The value of what was stolen has not yet been determined. Investigations are also ongoing into a fire that damaged parts of the home of Jennifer Small at Grazettes New Road, St. Michael. According to police, the incident occurred around 20 minutes past 12 this morning, with Small reporting that her front and side doors were on fire. It is not yet clear how the fire started. In sports, goals were hard to come by last night as the Digicel-sponsored Barbados Football Association's Premier League continued at the National Stadium. The feature match of the night and one of the most exciting for the season so far failed to yield any goals and ended in a 0-0 draw between Win of Wales and Rendezvous. The second match of the triple header between Pride of Gall Hill and DirecTV Paradise also ended in a 0-0 stalemate. However, Dwayne Stanford was in superb form in the first match of the evening when his two goals gave Mackerson Britons Hill a 2-0 victory over Silver Sands.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
To news from the region, opposition legislators in Venezuela have slammed a new law which gives President Nicolas Maduro the power to govern by decree. The law, which is called the Anti-Imperialistic Law for Peace, was passed in the National Assembly yesterday and gives the president the authority to take action to protect against the meddling of other nations in the country's internal affairs. President Maduro asked for the extra powers to counter what he described as threats by the U.S. government after the White House imposed fresh sanctions on the country. But the opposition describes the move as a power grab on the part of the president. Further afield, hundreds of protesters hit the streets in India today in a silent demonstration against the rape of an elderly nun in western Bengal. 10 men have been detained in connection with the attack against the 74-year-old following the burglary of the convent. The chief minister has promised swift and strong action against those involved as the Special Services Unit investigates the incident. And on that note, we come to the end of our evening updates, but we will be back again at 7 tomorrow morning. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into Channel 101 Online TV, as well as Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. See you tomorrow.
This news update is brought to you by
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? #sexy.